What's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Reseller Greatness Podcast. We have a familiar face back on the chat. We have Carrie. It's been about 2 months. How's everything going, Carrie? If people don't know you, where can they find you? What do you got going on? I know you have a family, husband's in the business. If you haven't watched the first chat that we had with Carrie, tremendous conversation. We talked about doing about $250,000 a year on eBay. It's been 2 months. What's going on? How's life treating you? How's reselling treating you? Are you still in business?
Yep, I'm still kicking. I'm alive, I'm well. Yeah, so I'm on YouTube. It's Carrie at Home, and I am an eBay reseller full time with my husband, and I homeschool my two kids. And we're just living the dream. So that's what we've been doing.
Is it a real dream or is it sarcastic like me, actually a nightmare? When I say living the dream, it's a nightmare. That's the joke. Living the
Oh,
dream.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I honestly, some days it just feels like we're on vacation just because it's
Yeah.
been really nice. But yeah, no, it's obviously still real life.
Yeah, that's it. No,
So
living the dream is a beautiful thing. It's not a
yeah.
nightmare. We get to wake up and we get to do exactly what we want to do every single day. And
Mhm.
that is a beautiful thing. And I've been fortunate enough to do that for a very long time. And to me, that is the best payoff. That's more than any money that we can earn on eBay is just get to wake up and do exactly what you want to do today, with the caveat as you have to do today to be able to afford to do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if you wake up and do whatever you want to do today, and that doesn't afford you the luxury to do it tomorrow, then that doesn't work. You only get
Maybe we're
one day of doing that.
maybe we're just delusional.
So how do you do it with the kids homeschooling? How does that work? What is a homeschool schedule? I've never done homeschool. How does it work?
Mhm.
I'll tell you this. This is the only thing I know about homeschooling.
Mhm.
I know nothing about it. My son, he played very high level baseball. One of the kids on the team, superior athlete amongst high level athletes. We were number one in the nation many years, since 12 years old. One of the kids was so good, his parents took him out of school so that way he
Mhm.
can have intensive training with baseball. It paid off. He got signed by the Toronto Blue Jays. It absolutely paid off. But he had to do homeschool so that way his schedule was more flexible to
Yeah.
practice with coaches, professionals, things like this. And he would come to practice. I would say, "Hey, how's school?" And he would go, "I got an A in trampoline today."
Mhm.
That's what he said. Now, I know homeschooling is not A in trampoline. He was
Yeah.
making a joke, but how are you navigating? How are you running a business as a parent, juggling homeschool? How are you able to do that?
I have been asked that multiple times, and I tell them I don't know. It's day by day. It's honestly, since adding YouTube into the mix, it has disrupted our schedule. Before YouTube, it was a lot more like manageable. I could do it. But since adding YouTube, I'm like, okay, obviously, kids' education comes before YouTube, and work
Sure.
comes before YouTube. So those are my two main big goals every day. So I'm trying this new schedule out, which has been working. I'm still having to like get the knots out and everything, but I'm planning on making a YouTube video about it because I've been asked this several times, but I'm basically putting it into chunks where every single day I'm doing something different. My focus is different instead of trying to do everything every day. And it's been helping. So I will actually do the beautiful thing about homeschooling is you have 100% control of the curriculum and how, like the flow, everything. So with my children, I will sit down on Monday and like for a large chunk of that day, we're doing like most of the lessons for that week right there. And then throughout the week, I'm sprinkling in just like, filler, like just repeat that work that we've listened to and worked on throughout the week. And so basically, it's front loading. Mondays is our big homeschooling day, and then we're sprinkling it throughout the week just to keep it fresh. And then I can focus on other stuff for the rest of the week.
All right, so that's one of the benefits of selling on eBay, and it does kind of go, it is pretty popular with parents who do reselling. Some of them, a lot of them actually, more than I ever knew, do reselling and homeschool the kids. So it is pretty popular, and I imagine you do get asked that a lot. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that you're able to dictate your schedule and then work around the kids, work around their schooling, work around their needs. And that was something that I used eBay a lot for, especially when my son was young. He was very involved with sports and he went to school a good distance away. So I was able to drive him to school, drive all the way back, knock out some stuff, pick him up. And it was 4 hours a day I was spending on the road, driving him back and forth to school. And then he would come home for third meal after school. And then I take him to baseball practice, or we would go to the field. And eBay offered me that luxury of working that schedule around his needs. And if I had to work a regular 9 to 5, if I had to work a job, I'd have to ask my boss, I'd have to do this, and it just wasn't going to work. So I think that eBay does serve a perfect vehicle for parents, for people with a busy schedule. So, all right, so we got that. YouTube is going pretty good. You're off to a great start. How's business? How's the store? I know you're doing a challenge. $1 or $0 to $3,000 a month. Tell me about it. Tell us about it. How's it going?
Yeah, so I just started this series. The main business is doing great. It's, doing what's supposed to do. So I there's a few things that got me started with this series. I want to branch out from my niche from just selling bottoms to shirts now.
Yeah,
I want to dabble in it, see if I like it. And I figured, why not, make a YouTube video about it. But I have a lot of people on my channel who are just starting out or they're just starting out, they haven't started, or they're wanting to change their niche. And I feel like this would be a great learning opportunity. Frozen. Okay. This would be a great learning opportunity for all of us collectively to witness me do this firsthand, essentially. I started it back up, doing the same thing that I did with the jeans. So I'm going out and I'm just researching on eBay and hitting the thrift stores and bins to see what's out there in my area. But my whole point is to start from nothing and build it up to where I'm just selling shirts and be making $3,000 a month, because I feel like most people could do something with $3,000 a month, just like one
sure.
person, not obviously a whole family living off of it. But, if two people, did this, or just us, a college student or whatever, I feel like $3,000 a month is good. I even have retirement people watching me being like, I do
That's right.
eBay for fun,
Yep.
just to like supplement fun retirement money. And I'm like, $3,000 a month to just spend on whatever you want is great. So it's a challenge for me to get it started. Mainly, I think the challenge is just my focus, because I am obviously focusing on other aspects of my life. And to start up a side hustle eBay store and shirts is not on the forefront of my mind. So we're starting it off a little bit bumpy. I've done a couple videos of it. I've got some things on my store. I've sold some things. So I can't spoil some things. I was about to, but I'm saving it for my video. But anyway, it's been a great start so far. People have been really enjoying it because they say like they can learn from it with me, or it
Hmm.
feels like they're starting it up with me, like a buddy. So it's been a really fun series so far. But it's honestly like going through the thrift stores and not going through all the jeans is, I just feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like I have no clue what I'm looking at when I'm in the shirt aisle. I'm like, oh no. So I'm going through and I'm like, well, I've seen people sell this brand before, but I'm looking at the comps and it's not fitting what I want. And so it's honestly for me a learning curve in a niche I don't have any experience in. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, this is what people are saying. Like whenever they see me pick up like democracy jeans or certain Levi's, they're like, I've looked at those and they don't look like they're worth selling, but you're picking them up and selling them just fine. And I'm like, this might be a moment where this shirt could sell in my store. I may just have to try it and just see, type of thing. But it got me thinking about this whole concept of like, okay, the eBay economy is showing like, okay, this is super flooded. It's not worth much. But in my own store, it might be worth it. So I've been testing that out with the shirts to start seeing like what I can sell in my store and how well I can sell it versus what eBay's telling me.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack there. It's going to be good. All right. So you said even in your main store,
Mhm.
you're experimenting with other than jeans and shorts. You're going tops even in the main store. Is there a
Mhm.
reason? Why are you making the big jump, going from bottoms to tops?
Because honestly, I want to be able to get sourcing done a lot faster in our day. And if we're able to pick up half jeans, half shirts, or pick up double the amount because we're adding shirts on top of our sourcing trip, like it's just an all around win for us. Um, and just being more open to making more money because there's money everywhere and we're going to
Sure
be in the
is.
store anyway. So it's like, might as well also go down the shirt aisle. They go hand in hand. They're both clothing. They'd
Hmm.
both be processed the same way. It's not like I'm
Hmm.
getting into like China or anything.
Sure. So, all right. So, are you just doing shirts? Or are you doing jackets, sweaters, polos, button-ups, or just t-shirts?
I'm just dabbling in everything tops, essentially.
Okay.
Anything you wear on the upper half, because I feel like I got the lower half good, and now I need to work on the upper half.
Okay. All right. So this is my route when I go to the thrift store. I go jerseys because that's low-hanging fruit and the jersey section is very
Mhm.
small. I go jackets, sweaters, button-ups, polos, t-shirts, shorts, peruse the pants, peruse the kids section, peruse the women's section. In the kids section, I'm only looking for jerseys, Patagonia, North Face jackets, stuff like that. In the women's section, I'm only looking for the Patagonia, North Face, things like that. So I have my thrift route set up where it's the most bang for the buck, the most return. Because it's not uncommon to go to the thrift, go to the jacket section, find a 30, 50, $100 jacket. Not
Yeah.
totally uncommon. Same thing with the sweaters. Not uncommon to find a 30, $50 sweater. And then button-up shirts, not uncommon to find a 30, $50 button-up shirt. Polo shirts, 25 bucks, 45 bucks. T-shirts, a lot of people looking for them. A lot of people want the vintage shirts. They're priced up, maybe $5, $7, maybe a couple dollars less or a couple dollars more. And you really need a really good t-shirt in order for the margin to work. So that's why I don't spend that's why it's
Yeah.
lower on the totem pole. Do I still search it? Absolutely. But that's why it's lower on the totem pole. So my thrift route is based on the percent chance of me getting the best return. That's why I go jerseys, because every single jersey is probably $20 minimum. Then I go jackets, sweaters, button-ups, polos, t-shirts, shorts, jeans, peruse the kid for Patagonia jerseys, and then peruse the women's for the men's adjacent, not blouses, not dresses, just men's adjacent Patagonia, things like that. So have you developed a route? What is the route for you? Because you say, it's a whole new world, and sometimes you feel like you leave some jeans in stores. Have you developed a route, or is that going to be your new route? What is the thought process when you walk into the thrift store and now you have this whole land of honey off to the right hand side that is 10 times the size of the jeans section?
Yes.
How do you tackle it? How do you navigate it?
Um, I just right just from hearing you talk about that, I go straight to the t-shirts.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Why?
Because I was like, it's summer. So
Oh, are you shying away from jackets right now?
no, I'm not. I'm honestly, I'm so slow right now going through all because there is so much out there in the stores. Um, I went straight to the t-shirts.
Straight to the
Yep,
t-shirts.
straight
Hot
to
take
t
from Carrie. We heard it here first. That's going to be the title of the video. Carrie goes straight for the t-shirts.
Yep, the worst, yeah, the worst spot to start at. Uh, no, so for our stores, I I don't know, like they have like a large selection of jeans or not jeans, jackets and coats and stuff during the fall and winter, but like they don't put that much out during the summer.
Oh, they don't?
So no, they really don't. Like they hold on to stuff, at least for our stores. Like I don't know
Yeah.
about other ones, but they like hoard seasonal stuff and then like push it all out. But yeah,
I
so
think mine are pretty balanced year round. There is a little bit of fluctuation, but like you can still go to a store in South Florida and the jacket section is full right now
yeah.
in the middle of May, middle of June. But for you, like in the middle of May, middle of June, they're holding back jackets. Where do they put them? They put them in the back room?
Yeah, it's not all of them. Like there are still gonna be jackets out there. It's just like way smaller of a
Gotcha.
selection. I don't know what they do with all of that.
Because jackets take up a lot of room. You can't just be storing those things
Yeah,
forever.
I know. I don't know. Like, I know they do that for Halloween stuff, like the
Yeah,
seasonal
yeah.
holiday stuff too. And always, whenever it's fall or short season, they'll just like have a big influx of inventory, like boom,
Hmm.
right there, ready to go. But my route for my main store,
All right, let's hear
um,
the route. Walk
yes,
in the door.
the walk through the door, first thing is men's jeans. I go straight to the men's jeans, and then after I go through all that, it's men's pants and then men's shorts.
All right, so
And
men's
then,
pants,
yeah.
are we talking slacks or are we talking track pants? Or both?
They put them all together. So basically,
Okay.
if it's not jean material, they will put it on the pants row. So yeah, that's all your chinos, sweatpants, everything like that.
Okay, so men's jeans, men's pants, other. That's stop number two. Stop number
Hmm.
three.
And then the men's shorts, you got to
Okay.
go through that.
Okay.
And then after that's all looked through, I'll hop on over to the women's jeans.
Yeah. I thought, didn't you say you scaled back the women's jeans because of the returns, or was that Andy?
That may have been Andy. That was
That,
Andy. I remember him
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that.
Andy said
Yeah.
he scaled back on the women's jeans because of a lot of returns. Do you experience that?
Um, I mean, I don't pick up, it's mainly because I don't pick up a lot of women's jeans just because of what they are.
Yeah,
So I have more returns with the men's jeans, but my store is mainly like
sure.
men's clothing. So,
All right.
but
Women's
yeah,
jeans.
women's jeans. And then if I just have time to kill, I'll do the women's pants because that's like, I'm only looking for like the Spanx or anything that's just like a quick no-brainer brand in the pants section, but I'm not looking through all the dress pants because there's a
You
lot of garbage in there.
you picking up still women's Lululemon leggings and
Yeah,
stuff? You pick those up
Lululemon.
still?
Yeah, the Lululemon, but not like your just standard one. They have to be kind of like specialty
Yeah.
leggings now and not just your basics. So if they are basically anything but skinny, I'll pick them up. Or if they've got like pockets or whatever it is, but it's like that I'll pick up. I hardly find any of those. I find more Lululemon men's stuff, but
Really?
yeah, like their jackets and shorts and pants and
Why do you
stuff.
think women
Yeah.
still holding on to that stuff?
I don't know.
I
I'm not a
see.
big Lululemon person, so I'm not like I don't understand all of that. It may be like a Midwest thing too, because there's not a lot of Lululemon stores around us. So maybe
Um,
they like one, there's not as much to be in the stores, but two, maybe they hold on to their stuff more.
all right, so we got men's jeans, men's pants, others, men's shorts, women's jeans, women's pants, other.
And then the women's shorts, that is like the equivalent to kind of like the women's pants where there's not that many women's shorts that I actually pick up. But I picked up a few. I picked up a Spanx pair and a loudmouth pair the other day. And that
Loudmouth,
was it.
yeah.
Hmm.
Those are the last pair of loudmouth that I saw at a thrift store. There was five pairs in the men's sections, but they ended up being women's. But it was totally fine. I'll pick up loudmouth
Yeah.
women's whatever. It don't matter. I'll pick it up. Now on the Wednesday call in the morning, every single week we have show and tell, and every single week there is a new golf brand. I cannot keep up. I've given up. Every
Hmm.
single week there's a new great golf brand to be on the lookout for. Bad Birdie, Galvin Green. Like I'm throwing my hands up. I
Hmm.
cannot keep up with the amount of awesome golf polos that are on the market. So for here on out, any ridiculously loud color performance material golf polo that I see that I'm not familiar with, I got to pull out my phone and look it up. Like some of these things are selling for ridiculous prices, ridiculous sell through. Carrie, I can't keep up. How
Yeah.
so you are breaking into new sections into the thrift. So how are you keeping up with what to look for? Are you studying? Are you researching? I'm not going to let you off easy. We still got to finish the route. I know we're going in a
Okay.
lot of places here. We still got to finish the route. So
Hmm.
after women's shorts, we're venturing into new territory, I assume.
Yeah. At that point, I'm heading over to the men's t-shirts.
Men's t-shirts in the chat.
Yeah.
In the chat. Are you going men's t-shirts first,
No.
Team Carry? Or are you Team Tech going
No.
jackets first? In the
Yeah.
chat, Team Carry, Team Tech. I want everyone to respond to that. Are you
Don't
shirt
follow me.
first?
I don't know where I'm going.
Shirt first? Or jacket first? All right. We're on Team Carry right now. We're going to the men's
Okay.
shirts. All right. What do we do after that? Apparently
Okay.
spin around.
I'm fumbling. I'm blind in the shirts section. No, okay. So I went to the men's t-shirts and then after that I would hop on over to the button-ups. So I'm just like working backwards from what you would do. It might be the reason why I'm not finding as many hits. I don't know, but I'm definitely
It's
going to just reverse that.
I, I don't know if it's the reason why you're not, but if all things are the same, all things considered are the same, and me and you we walk in at the same time, I'm going to crush it because I'm doing higher value to lower, where
Yeah.
you're going lower value to higher. On average, sure, maybe you find $100 t-shirt, sure, but there's
Mhm.
way more $100 jackets than $100 t-shirts at the thrift store for sure.
Yeah.
So like that was my mind state. If two people walk in and one starts here, one starts there, I want to be on the one that starts highest to lowest with the most opportunity at a home run and then the highest average working down. But I mean, I suppose there's not a wrong or a right way to do it, but
I think
I
there is.
okay. All right.
So,
Carrie thinks it is. So
yeah.
if in the comments you put Team Carrie, 3 minutes later you could get to go and you can edit your comment because she has already thrown in the towel. So
Yep.
all right. So,
As soon as you started saying your route, I'm like, I'm so wrong. I did this all wrong.
well, this is good though. This is good because you're learning the route in the thrift store, and that's important. The
Yeah.
flea market route is important. The thrift store route is important. All of this stuff is important. And if you go to the thrift every single day and you have the proper route, you're doing the proper cadence in the thrift, there will be like if you went 365 days, arrived at the same time as someone else, and you did the route backwards, the other person did the route the correct way. After 365 days, someone's making a lot of money and someone's not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to
So,
pick up nearly as many. If like you're just going for the profit per day, it's like you just pick up one or two jackets and then you're
mhm,
good versus 20
sure.
t-shirts.
All right.
So,
So
yeah.
you have always been very mindful of sell through, very mindful of the customer, very mindful of the keywords, and you are getting into some of that with your store has its own economy. And
Mhm.
this is another good question for the chat, and I want to get the chat involved. What are brands or a brand that you can sell, but you hear other people say, I can't sell that brand or that brand doesn't sell? And on the reverse, what are brands that other people say they sell, everyone else can sell, but you can't sell? There's a couple of those out there. Like for me, I know Peter Millar is saturated,
Mhm.
sells fantastic
Yeah.
for me still. I can still
Not
pick
for
it
me.
up. Other people say pass. Are you pass
Yeah.
or you pick it up?
Right. I from my research, I was passing on them. Like
That's
I
what I'm
know,
saying.
like I've heard like, okay, do summer comfort and in like the loud print or just whatever, just something that's
Yeah.
not basic. But I'm like, yeah, but like people are still selling the basics. And it like so yes, I am learning on this niche where I'm like, okay, there's gonna be things that people sell, no problem. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I just try it out because I can do this in my jeans store just fine. Maybe I just need to start experimenting and not be so cautious with it. And obviously, not spend a bunch of money on it, but maybe find it at the bins and test it out to see if I can sell Peter Millar shirts.
So they're not all created equally. The cotton beige one color Peter Millar,
Yes.
that's probably a pass for most folks. Maybe for some people, it's not. If you got the seaside wash, you got the summer comfort, you have the nice material, you have the performance. Maybe those ones are good. The golf course embroidery, if it's Fisher Island, if there's certain embroideries that can also raise it up. But so here's one thing. So we look at sell through, and let's say, for example, there's 10,000 Peter Millar. Let's say there's 50,000 Peter Millar on eBay, and let's say that they show 25,000 sold. So that would be a 50% sell through, 6 months sell through on average, right?
Mhm.
So 50% sell through, maybe that doesn't meet people's metrics. Do we look at the velocity of 25,000 sales and just say, all I need is one of those? Can I fit my item into the mix somehow, some way to get one of those 25,000 sales? Versus, do we want to list items that have, a 90-day sales history of 1,400 items, but 100% sell through. I think for me, I can break into 25,000 items that have sold easier than I can break into 100% sell through 1,400 items.
Yeah. See, I would honestly, if I was with the two, I would do the 100% because I know for me, I can just price it a little bit cheaper and I would be like one of the first out the door
Mm-hmm.
versus, in the big pool. But now with the jeans, I'm like, again, with like the Levi's, I don't know what the overall global sell-through rate is for Levi's anymore because I'm only basing it off of my store now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've
Sure.
sold so much now to where it's like if I find a really random model number that I don't come across often, I just type it into my store to see if I've sold it before and if I have any listed. And it'll be like, okay, I have zero sold, but two, or I have zero listed, but two sold. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick that up because it's in my store a 200% sell through. So that's just how I've been viewing it. And I'll list it and it'll sell. Like I have not been really looking at eBay's sold
Sure.
comps for most of the stuff
Right.
that I'm familiar with.
And that's perfectly fine because if there's 50,000 listed, and if you know what you're doing, how many of those 50,000 listed are truly your competition?
Yeah, because if you look through it, it's like they either only have a couple words in their title, the pictures are awful, like horrible, um, just bad lighting or just bad sizes, or it's just incorrect. Like there's
Yeah,
a lot of errors out there. So yeah, once you actually take all the good listings, because eBay's gonna bump all the good listings up. So once you actually look at what's good, then you're looking at different comparisons of if you can actually sell it or not.
absolutely. So that turns 50,000 active, 25,000 sold. Probably 50% of those people don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
So if you know what you're doing, like, is there another metric of I know what I'm doing metric gives you a different sell through?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think so too. I think so too. And that's why for me, I like high velocity, 25,000 sold, because I know I can break into that and beat at least 50% of those people.
It's true. Yeah.
So I've looked at that too. Of course, I look at the global sell through. I look at the velocity because Nike is a good example too. Nike is over 1 million listings on eBay for clothing,
Hmm.
but it's 800,000 have sold.
Yeah.
So like even though it's so saturated, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million listings on eBay, there's 800,000 that sold. Just give me one. I just need one out of 800,000. And I think that I could do that because I can outperform the other people that are listing the items and are selling the items. I think I can outperform them by having, the better presentation, a better price, a better variance of keywords. And once I can figure out those three, I think that I can list more of that item, get a disproportionate amount of the search because I have the better presentation, better variance of keywords, and I can produce a better price, better offer for the customer, better return policy. I
Hmm.
think that I can list more and expand this way and get um, more results on a high number of searches, and then I can get a disproportionate amount of the sales. Because if we look on Terapeak, you search something on Terapeak, you scroll to the side 2 or 3 times, it'll tell you 75% of all sales in just about every single brand go to 20% of the people.
Yeah.
And we just got to be one of the 20%. That's it.
That's, I'm glad you're mentioning that because it does help me kind of open up my mind a bit more with the shirts because I am working on such a low budget in this series. I started
Uh-huh.
out with $50 and I'm trying to flip that into creating a store that's making 3,000 a month. But yeah, once I'm out there, I don't really know what I'm looking at with the shirts. I kind of do, but and I know how to research, I know how to list, but it's that overwhelming sell through. Because in the beginning, yeah, and since now, I'm always about the sell through. I'm like, I don't want to just get something that people don't want to buy, but people want to buy it. It's just I can sell it better than most
Sure.
people. So
I think
it's a
so.
really good concept to to remember when sourcing.
Right. And I think so. And just like with the jeans, you've always been very conscious on sell through, but you outperform the sell through, do you not?
Oh yeah, like whenever like the listing quality report, I know that has gone down, like it's down right now,
Yeah,
but I checked it back in December and I we were number 8 in
nice,
men's jeans.
nice,
So I'm like, now we'd probably be more because we've been having like record sales like
nice.
this first quarter. So I'm like, I know how to sell jeans. So
Sure.
like it doesn't really matter what the sell-through rate is anymore. If I know that the brand is good, the style is good, the size is good. Now it's just more so that I'm looking at, be like, okay, I can sell that. Not so much what eBay's telling me.
Right. So we need that. And then the second part is we just need to know that there's demand there. And if there are comps, if there's good velocity, without a doubt, if you're listening to this podcast, you know more. Just even if you don't know much, you know more than the common person, than the layman, than the civilian, than the amateur, than the day one seller, than like my mom, she lists on eBay. She doesn't have a very good fundamental understanding of the platform. There's a lot of people that are hobby sellers. There's a lot of people that just
Mhm.
throw stuff up and see what happens. Like we can outperform all of those people, and we could do it by all the things that we talk about every single day. So when I asked and I said, you know what, you've been very conscious on sell through, but you can outperform the sell through, you immediately say, oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Why can't you do
That's
that on tops?
well,
What's the
I
barrier?
I think it's just my natural instinct to be just cautious with things and uh not just like run into stuff and just be like, I'm gonna do it. Like
Of
it's just not
course,
my
of course.
personality.
But this series that you're doing will 100% prevent you from doing that because you have a governor.
Yeah.
You can't just go spend $10,000 on shirts because this series you're working with a
Yeah.
couple dollars and you're building it. So that part is fine. So like that's why like whenever I look at the search, whenever I look at the market, I've been doing this for such a long time. Every single time I know I can outperform anything that's on the market. Without a
Yeah.
doubt in my mind, without a shadow of doubt in my mind, I know I can outperform whatever the market says.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And does that come with experience? Does that come with gaining an expertise? That does that
Mhm.
come with gaining an understanding? Um, how do how do people find that? I'm not quite sure. I think it's experience. How do people find because when I said you can outperform in jeans, immediately you are confident.
Yeah.
Where do
But
we find the
the
confidence?
confidence, I was not confident beforehand. And I was honestly told by everyone in the group, like, you're selling jeans, you're gonna have the biggest, most bloatiest,
You don't
slowest
have to
store.
though. Yeah, you
I
don't have
know.
to though.
And I'm like, I'm telling myself, like, okay, I guess this is just like what I'm doomed to have. But I was like, no, I don't want that. Like, I want to have a high performance, like I want to have a
Sure,
successful store doing jeans. And that's it got to the point through research and just testing it out, making sure that my listings were top notch, like we were talking about. Like, as long as your listing is providing the most value for the customer, and it's an item that they want at a price that they want, then they're gonna buy it. So I just did that over and over. So it's like through time, through experience. Obviously, I had learning curves,
sure.
but through all of that, it's built this confidence to where now I'm selling the store 3 to 4 times over a year, and it's in jeans. And I was told the entire
Nice.
time I would have to have like 10,000 items on my store.
But the reason why you're told that is because those people can't do what you're doing because they didn't take the time to gain the expertise that you just rattled off.
That's true.
So
And
a lot
that's
of
the
people,
benefit. Mhm.
yeah, a lot of people say things can't be done because they don't take the time to be able to learn how to do those things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're right, and they're always going to be right until they take the time to learn how to do it and then prove themselves wrong.
Yeah. And that's just, I guess, niching down is like the biggest factor for it. Because if I was doing jeans and shirts and dresses and shoes and whatever, I wouldn't have had the focus and the time that I spent just looking at jeans and just selling them. And I would have come to this realization like, 5 years from now,
Sure,
but I'm here now with it.
sure. So now that you have the amount of confidence in the jeans, you're going to add on the tops because I mean, if you're going to multiple thrifts, you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you're just going like one row. And I see
Yeah.
people that do that. The most impressive thing I've ever seen in my entire life at a thrift store. I go through the racks very fast. I'm very fast on the racks. This guy came into a thrift. I saw him one time, never saw him again. He came through the thrift and he had this method of going through the button ups where he was really close to the rack and he was going like this. It was the fastest I ever seen anybody go through the racks.
Oh my
He went through
goodness.
the button ups, he found two or three, he was out the door. So all he did was go through the
Yeah.
button ups. It was the fastest I have ever seen anyone go through a rack. But I was like, but my cart was full to the sky. But
Yeah.
all he was looking for was the button ups. And now he's got to go to, I don't know, 5, 10, 15, 20 more stores because he's looking at 1% of the store. Fast as light. And don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
But he was only looking at a little bit of stuff. So I guess like, if you can build the process, the photo station, the storage situation where all of this stuff still fits, like you said, it's the same photography, it is the same storage. So it's not anything you have to build differently.
Mhm.
I think you're going to find as you do gain the confidence, you do gain more experience, you do gain the expertise, like you're leaving a lot of money on the table by just doing the jeans.
Yes. And we knew that, but again, it's the whole we don't know how to sell shirts right now. So we
Yeah.
just never looked. We were happy with the results of the one niche. And now we're getting to the point where we're like, yeah, we could keep doing this, or we could double our efforts. We could double our money by going to the second half of the store, or we can cut if we still just want to do the same amount of listings and same amount of profit, we could cut our time in half. So, but we're wanting to double our money. Obviously, want to grow.
Yeah.
So, but it's just having more opportunities that way. So that's why we're at this point now at least I'm at this point now where I'm searching and researching the shirts and stuff. And then Kyle's outsourcing the jeans while I'm learning shirts now.
So if
But
if you wanted to double the only jeans business, you could surely do it, but that would require more driving, more sourcing, more
yes,
time spent out rather than doubling the amount of opportunities in the same locations, right?
yeah. And, with jeans, it is seasonal
Yeah.
and, you know, people aren't donating as many jeans during the summer because they're like all packed away. We get more of an influx of donations during the fall when people are like, oh, these don't fit me. And then they donate them. So it's just good. Just more opportunities is the name of the
Sure.
game.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with it.
So you say you're learning. What are you doing to learn to study? Are you front loading the information as best as possible? Are you looking stuff up? What kind of method what method did you do to learn jeans and what method are you doing to learn the tops?
So for the jeans, I kind of did it like the barbaric way, where I just went out to the bins and I just filled the cart up
Yeah.
with tons of jeans, and I went through it one at a time. Which I don't discount that because sometimes you just got to see it and you got to
Yeah.
feel it and whatever. Like there's things that you don't get looking at a computer, like whenever
So
you're looking at it.
no shame going to the bins, filling your cart to the sky and putting back 90% of it.
Nope.
You did that.
Yeah, I would honestly encourage that. I do not want people like, okay, obviously, but I'm saying don't take it all home. Just
Yeah.
because you have it all in your cart, don't take it all home. Take home the stuff that you know that you'll
Only.
rock. Yeah.
Only.
Leave all the trash, all the questions just behind because there's plenty to go back and get more. But yeah, I did it the barbaric way at first, and now I'm still doing it, but I'm also researching beforehand. So I'm looking at eBay comps just to see what's in my area, get familiar with the brands, trying to like right now fishing shirts are something where I'm like, I feel like there are some good fishing shirts. And so I've been trying to do a little bit of research to see which ones are good and which ones are bad because there's a lot in our area.
Hmm.
So I'm doing that currently, but I'll do that for different niches within the shirts. Um, but then also YouTube videos have been helping, just seeing like what other people are picking up that I might find in the wild. So I've been researching that, eBay, YouTube, and then just getting out there and seeing it, feeling it, and looking it up in the store. But yeah, it's been working out pretty good. I've been able to find a good amount of shirts so far from whenever I first started to now. So we're getting there.
Very nice. So you're doing the same thing at the thrift store. You're picking up items, you're looking it up and only taking home the good items. So for the
Mhm.
jeans, you have a metric. Is it the same metric for tops, or are you assessing it different metric? And for the folks that don't know the metrics, that's going to be the profit that you're expected to get on the item and also how fast the item is going to sell. So do you have two different metrics or matrices? Maybe that's the proper way, or are you running the same metric for, I guess, both sets of items?
It's the same metrics as with the jeans. Whenever I was like first starting out, where I wanted to have as close to 100% sell through as I could. With and at the time I was trying to do like a $10 to $15 profit margin. I'm now with the shirts, I'm trying to do a $15 profit margin. Mainly because they're cheaper than jeans and they ship for less. Like, so it's just a little bit easier to get some more money out of it, I feel like. But I am trying to keep it to where it's as close to 100% sell through. I'm okay with going down to 50% sell through, but if it's starting to get lower, I'm not picking it up. The only difference right now is on jeans, I would spend $10 to make 20, 15, $20 just because I know like I have that confidence. With the shirts, I don't want to spend that much on something that might not get me that much.
Gotcha.
So basically it's the funds. I don't have a lot to lock into inventory right now. So I'm just really trying to make sure I get the most out of it that I
Sure.
can.
So as someone that sells jeans, has Ground Advantage been a godsend for you? Are you still shipping priority flat rate, or are you rolling Ground Advantage?
Yeah, that's something that has been coming up in my comments a lot was people are like, why are you're missing out? Like they was basically saying I was I guess missing out on money by doing Ground Advantage, but I'm like, I don't know. Like maybe it's different for other people on the coast or something, but because I'm in the middle of the country, Ground Advantage, and I'm also next to a post office distribution center that may also have something to
Gotcha.
do with it, but it's been way cheaper. Like normally, I like before Ground Advantage, I had to ship out priority mail,
Yep.
and I originally started out with the padded envelopes in the very beginning, and that if I'm trying to remember what the numbers were, but that was running me like 8.50, $8 somewhere
Yeah,
around there.
820 somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I dropped down to the cardboard
Oh,
envelopes.
you went team paper? You switched
I
teams?
did. I did switch teams. I
Oh.
did. I know. I did it because I was legit losing money on shipping with the
Hmm.
padded because
After
after
fees and everything. Yeah.
yes.
Hmm.
And I'm like, and you can't just, I mean, you can, but like, I just didn't want to charge, $11 to ship a pair of jeans out.
Yeah.
It was getting pricey. So I'm like, okay, I can like drop my pricing down, my shipping down a little bit and switch to the envelopes. And that saved me a little bit of money. I was breaking even at that point.
Hmm.
And then Ground Advantage came out and I'm now profiting $1 off of it because it's costing me anywhere between $6 to $7 to ship out. And I'm charging $9.99. That's pretty standard for jeans. And after fees and everything, I'm taking home $1 on shipping, which is I love it. It's been great. And I switched over to the poly mailers. So it's just even though it's not free anymore with the post office supplies, it's
Sure.
still only like 10 cents for a
Sure.
poly mailer.
Sure.
So I've been loving it. It's been great.
And then the speed has been, because what I'm seeing is like Ground Advantage is either the same speed or 1 day slower than priority. And
Yeah,
you say you live in the middle next to a distribution place, so you might not be even seeing any difference.
I have not. There's been a couple times where I've I, I don't know if it's because it's Ground Advantage or what. I don't know if other people using other services are experiencing it, but there have been a handful more packages that have been arriving later than usual. But other than that, that's the only thing. And again, I don't know if that's because it's Ground Advantage or if it's something, I don't know what's going on with
Yeah,
it.
Ground Advantage is great. It goes up to 70 pounds, gives you $100 of insurance for free. It's
Yeah.
great. So I know you talk about the bins from time to time. This was a photo in the group. Have you ever seen anything like this before? They say this is common. This is a picture from the Portland bins shared
Yes.
by Todd.
Uh-huh.
And people from Colorado were saying the same thing. You
Yep.
guys leave a random item and
I
this holds your
know.
spot in line. That rides. That's a real thing.
It happens at ours. We have two bins locations where we're at, and I don't know about the other one downtown,
Get out of town.
but it's not that, it's rocks. Replace those with
Yeah,
rocks.
there's rocks up in the front. Look.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That
we have like a boomstick up here. Someone left a 40 ounce. We got a couple of rocks. We got some spring water.
I think
This
that's an
looks like a
apple.
bocce ball,
Oh,
Garfield,
okay.
an upside down cup, hairspray, a vape pen, Coke, an ice scraper, a lighter, and glasses. This is how the bins roll where you guys, this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
This has never happened down here.
I don't know what is causing people to do this.
People respect the rock. Like that's my rock and you get that place in line.
I don't respect the rock.
Oh, you don't respect the rock.
No,
What are the repercussions for not respecting the rock?
so I honestly at this point we just sit in our it's getting so stupid. Like we used to stand in line, but now that rocks are being people in line, I'm like, this is stupid.
Is this
So
new? Is this a new thing?
it is new in our area for like the past few months. This has been happening more and more. The bins, I think it honestly started during the winter whenever it was super
When
cold.
it's so cold, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I can
Which,
see that.
yeah. But I kind of get it. I kind of get it because you show up early to place your rock there, but you're not standing there. So you're still showing up early,
All
but you're
right.
not in line.
Carrie,
But
if you place a rock and go to
uh-huh.
McDonald's and come back, do you still get the
No,
rock?
no. That's not what I'm saying. You
No,
don't.
I'm asking a question.
Okay. No, I don't think it's fair, honestly. If you have somebody standing there for you and you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go run to McDonald's. Can you save my spot?" That's
That
I feel like a
rides.
little different.
That
Yeah.
rides.
But if it's
So
a rock,
is there a market for professional line standers at the bin?
dude.
Is there, could you wrangle up a bunch of your kids' friends and you charge 20 bucks, stand in line?
Uh-huh.
And is there a market for professional line standers at every bins in America?
That might maybe. I don't know.
I never
Um,
saw hold my spot rock in line until today. And they were saying in the comments, it's common in Colorado, it's common where you are. That was
yeah.
in Portland. This might be an epidemic sweeping the nation that I had no idea about.
I know. And our bins, they've allowed it for quite a while to where now people are leaving their rocks overnight. They're permanent rocks.
Overnight rock,
Yeah.
permanent. Are they super gluing them to the ground? That's the move
No.
right there, because then you can't even move my spot.
That's true.
Overnight
No.
rocks.
Overnight rocks. And as you're leaving the bins, the rocks are still there in
What?
line for the next day. Yeah. They
They
don't move them.
and they don't like reset the rocks. There's no rock
No,
reset.
no.
So that is a permanent spot, forever
Permanent.
spot. What kind of rock do you have?
We don't
You
play
don't
that
go rock?
game. No. Because honestly, like I don't know. It's just one
So,
of those things.
all
Nobody
right.
likes the rock people. They all
It's
kind of
cold.
just
It's cold. I understand. We want to sit in our car. I get it. But
yes.
when the door opens, don't everyone just run in anyways? Or do people get in line like 10 minutes before the door opens on their
uh,
rock?
1 minute before the door opens.
So why is, then there's just no rocks. Everyone just walks in the door.
Yeah, well, no, they get in first still. So they don't have to wait outside at all. They still are first in the door and like they all that. What our bins is trying to do to combat this right now is they have like these giant signs, like 5 of them right in front of the doors being like, you are needing to be in your line. A rock doesn't
Oh
replace
my.
you.
Oh,
Yes, like they're really trying this.
that's
One
what
of
they
the
say in the
managers,
comments too. They're trying to shut it down.
yeah, one of the ladies, one of the managers, like she's one of our good friends. She's been talking about it with us and she's like, I'm trying to switch it up on them. I'm trying to stop this because they can't call the cops out on them and be like,
Call the
everybody to the
cops on
back.
rocks,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how are you combating this? And she's like, well, we'll just open up 20 minutes early.
Random opens.
randomly on a random day. Like, so you never know if it's going to be an early day or an on time day or a late day. So people are now standing in lines more because they're like, they might open up 20 minutes early. And if they do that, everybody that's in line will be in the door while everyone's running from their cars trying to get up there.
This
It's a madman. Like, it's
this
crazy.
might be the most amazing phenomenon in reselling currently.
Yes.
I'm blown away. I have heard no reports of Florida rock line people. I haven't heard any reports of this. This is a new thing to me. I
Maybe
think,
it's going from west to east. It'll be there soon.
oh, yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
Man, rock. All right, so you don't respect the rock.
I don't
I'm
respect The
team
Rock. Yeah.
I'm team don't respect the rock. I wonder if there's repercussions. There's probably none. And if there
There
are, we
there's
face them.
definitely been some words shared between people and their rocks. So it's just interesting right now, interesting times.
Interesting times at the bins. I wonder if this is going to start happening at thrift stores, at the flea market. You just
Oh
carry a
man.
rock in your pocket everywhere now. You go to 7-Eleven, you just put a rock right at the register so that way you
Yep.
don't have to wait. You go get your Slurpee, you go right to the front of the line. This could be a whole new thing. Who is going to be the reseller selling rocks? Someone needs to be. I have reseller ruler. We need resellerrock.com. Put it on the board right now. Everyone needs to get a reseller rock. I'm getting the URL right now. I'm not playing games.
Oh my
Reseller
gosh.
rock. You can design them. You can put your logo on them.
Mhm.
Resellerrock.com. It's going to be on by the time this series is up.
It needs to
Carrie,
come
we
with a
split it.
tube of super glue.
Yeah, super glue. That's
Hmm.
right. And that way, when you try to pick it up, you can't pick it up. Brilliance. All right, serious now. I don't know how,
Yeah.
I don't know how we segue off of reseller rocks. That is not the direction I thought we were going to go in the
Nope.
podcast, but I think it
It
is
is
a
something.
beautiful discussion. It
Yeah.
it might serve an entire 1 hour podcast, reseller rocks. We might have to just put that one on the board. I'm doing that one next Wednesday for the Q&A, reseller rocks. All right. Aside from reseller rocks, you got the tops going, you're
Mhm.
making some money. How's the challenge going? What is the finish line for the challenge? Is it $3,000 profit once, 2, 3, 4 months in a row? What's the
Yeah,
finish line?
so this is my first time doing a challenge like this, so I know there's gonna be some learning curves of like how I want to do this,
Hmm.
but my end goal is to get it to where I have enough items on the store, and if you just rinse and repeat at that point, then you're just bringing home $3,000 a month.
Nice.
And that's my goal. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there. I don't know how many items I'm going to need on my store. So it's, again, we're doing it all together, seeing how this goes. But the cool thing about this challenge is so much like basically where I started. So I sold stuff from around my house to get $50 as startup cash because I feel like most people can sell something or two or whatever, get $50 to start this up. And then I'm only using like recyclable envelopes. I'm not using any supplies from my own store. I'm basically treating it as if I have no eBay store and I'm starting it out. This is what somebody in my situation would have and have access to. I'm back to printing labels from my printer. I'm using like packer's tape to get the label on there. I'm using the sunlight for my photos. I'm doing vertical, no, not vertical. I'm doing horizontal flat lay for my pictures instead of vertical. So just doing all that. I also started a new store that I have zero feedback, like just nothing. So I didn't want any advantages anyway for that store because I wanted to show and document how it's kind of like a growth. You have to do a lot of work in the beginning to get that feedback. And once you become
Sure.
top rated and everything, it
Sure.
gets a little bit easier. So
Sure.
I'm just documenting it all for people. Um, just trying to keep it as real and raw as I can. And yeah, so the end goal is to get it to where it's making $3,000 a month because, like I said in the beginning, I feel like that funds retirement fund money.
Hmm.
It can replace somebody's job. It's a good side hustle amount.
Hmm.
Like you can do a lot with 3,000 a month.
Absolutely. So, all right. Have you found any bangers in the top section? Can you give us? I saw you picked up a Carhartt jacket. That's
I
very good.
did, yes.
Did that
Carhartt
one sell
jackets.
yet?
The first one did. The
Nice.
second one is still on the market. It is a little bit thicker, so I don't know. But um also the other one I picked up, there was none listed and only two sold. So
Nice.
yeah. Um as far as bangers go, the Carhartt would be that one.
What did you get for it?
I sold it. I'm trying to remember now. I did sell it for real cheap because I needed money like
Got to
now.
do what you got to do.
Yeah, I had it listed originally for, I believe, around 130, $140. And I sold it for $90.
Okay.
So it's a good chunk off, but I got my money back and I got $40 back. So I had
Sure.
$60 left in my fund to start
Nice.
shopping again.
What has been about ballpark the average cost of goods for the tops?
So a lot of them are actually coming from the bins,
Nice.
and that's been like $1 or two that I've
Nice.
been spending on that. I have a good chunk from the stores, and just off the top of my head, I'm trying to remember. Like they're going anywhere between 4 to 5,
Pretty good.
sometimes $9, depending on what the brand is. But yeah, they're cheaper than the jeans, which is nice.
Absolutely. So like that $60 profit plus, I think you spent what, 25 bucks on the jacket originally?
Hmm.
So there you go. You
Yeah,
got 85 bucks at the bins. That can give you 75 more pieces, 75 more opportunities. And that starts to snowball really, really fast if you can get that stuff turning, get that stuff selling. So
yeah.
I don't know. $3,000 is tough, but like if you know the items to pick up and you know what you're doing, I think you can make quick business of it. I have confidence in you. I think you can
Mhm.
make quick business of this $3,000 a month. I think you have to do it for 2 months in a row though, because
Oh
otherwise,
yeah,
if you do
yeah.
it once, then if you got to do it at least 2 months in order for it to be like you could have a $3,000 store
That's true. Yeah, I remember you asking like how many months am I gonna have it go by? Probably for the series, I'll do it for the 2 months,
at
show
least.
it two
Yeah,
times. Yeah.
yeah,
And then obviously at that point, it's just keep doing what you've been
yeah.
doing at this point. And at that point, I'm just going to let my stuff sell through and just start funneling everything onto our main store at that point because I'll have all that knowledge and
Yeah.
everything and I'll just put it all in there because I don't want to operate two eBay stores forever.
So
So,
is two eBay stores a pain? I've never done it, but I could just imagine it's two sets of messages, two sets of offers, two sets of printing. Is it a pain or it's no big deal?
right now it's no big deal because I'm
Until
not
you
selling
start
as
selling
much.
a lot
Yeah.
of stuff. Until there's a
Um,
lot of offers and a lot of messages.
uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Right now, I've learned I have my main store browser through Chrome,
That's a
and
good one.
then because
Yeah,
the logging in and out was annoying, so
yeah,
I have it my main store in one browser and
yeah.
then the other store in the other browser, so I can just switch between the two. And then I have emails being sent from the main store. I shut emails off from, or not the main store. I shut emails off from the main store, and I have emails back on for the new store. That way I don't miss anything.
Hmm.
But that's how I've been operating. I don't think there is a bad thing about having two stores unless they're both performing super well. I don't know. I haven't experienced that. It's just easier to focus on the one store. And it's all in the same clothing category, so it just makes sense. I feel like whenever Kyle and I first started out and he was doing a lot of electronics and I was doing jeans, we were sharing the same store and he was getting a lot of returns for his stuff. And that can kind of screw things up and like with the
Yeah,
reviews and whatever.
yeah.
So keeping it separate makes sense. But again, once I know everything with the shirts and I feel confident in it, I'll start putting it into our main store and it'll just funnel right in.
Nice. All right, let's wrap this thing up. What, Carrie, next time we see you, hopefully lucky enough in another three or so months,
Mhm.
what's going to be going on? Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? What's the game plan? What's the plan? Because we gotta sell items and make a lot of money. That's the mission. And the other day I was chatting on a 100K call, and my entire existence on eBay has been world domination.
Mhm.
And it occurred to me that not everyone wants world domination. That was the very first time that it actually hit me
Oh
like a
yeah.
ton of reseller rocks. A ton of reseller rocks hit me right in the face. that not everybody wants world domination.
Yep. Yep.
And now I understand. So, the next couple of months, what's the plan? How are we going to make a lot of money? How are we going to sell a lot of stuff? How are we going to get those kids reading a lot of books? How are we going to get more subscribers? How are we going to learn tops? How are we going to sell bottoms? What's the plan?
Yeah, well, my main focus right now is just surviving day by day. No, it's in 3 months, let's see, where that puts us like smack dab in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Um, I honestly like I'd be happy if, our YouTube is growing and I'm just, that shirt store is going really good. Maybe even hopefully wrapping up, I don't know, on the shirt store by then. But like the challenge. But yeah, basically what I want to do in like the next 3 months is have the kids fully done. Like they're wrapping up their school soon, but have the kids fully done with their schooling for the summer. The eBay store for the jeans is rocking and rolling. We're obviously going to be slower at that time, but still doing it good. And then maybe just focus on YouTube at that point because I might have more time just to focus on YouTube videos. But yeah, as far as world domination goes, I don't have plans to dominate the world. I like the idea of it, but I'm like, honestly, I like the quiet, slower life. So
That was a light bulb moment for me. Like people were like, "Oh, we just want to make a living," and I went,
yeah,
"Oh, yeah,
I I have my goals, like my financial goals, and obviously it takes a lot of money to get them, but and you have to work to get it.
sure,
But yeah, like I've got goals. It's just I don't know. I again with the slow life and with kids and stuff, like I'd
yeah,
rather kind of focus and make sure I'm not working their childhood away and
of course."
everything. But yeah, I don't know. Come
World
back to me three
domination can
months from
wait.
now.
There's no starting line on world domination. But but the core business, the jeans business, you did phenomenal last year. Still on track, still going good.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It's like I said, uh highest sales amount so far this year,
Nice.
already blowing it out of water from last year. And obviously we're gonna have like that slow dip during the summer, which I'm
Uh-huh.
expecting, then the random burst in July for some reason, and then yeah. So honestly, we're just coasting right now and we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. We're not going to worry about the chart or anything being in the red because we know even though it's slow now, it just means we're bulking our store up for whenever it's game time in the fall
Sure.
and winter. So I'm excited for it. Right now, I'm just going to be focusing on smooth sailing that and learning about more shirts.
Learning
That's my
about more
focus.
shirts. And even though if it's red still year over year, it's still you're still up. It's just red versus the previous month. And a lot of people they
Mhm.
get caught in the sales tab that says, you're down 3%. Okay, 3% versus the previous 30 days. And maybe the previous 30 days you had a great 30 days, but um I beg, I plead with people to look year over year because even though you're down 3% this year, if you judge that versus, May of last year, maybe you're up 14% or you're up
Yeah.
21%. So we got to look year over year. If you don't have the data, no problem. We got to start keeping track of that data so that way we do have it next year, unless you don't plan to be in business next year. If you don't plan to be in business next year, don't even bother recording the data. But if you plan
Mhm.
to be in business, start recording it, get your baseline so that way when the times do get tough, because there is seasonality and it's not always great. Some times are slow, sometimes are busy. Start documenting. So next year, when it's a little bit slower and you're second guessing, you're questioning, revert back to your calendars from last year and go, you know what? Versus last year, I'm crushing it. I'm killing it. I'm up, 46% over last year at this time.
Yeah.
Great. That is what we got to look at. So, all right, very good. Give the people some parting words, some kind words, something deep, something reseller rock
Oh,
related,
oh my
and
goodness.
tell them where they can find you. And I appreciate you jumping on. I love talking to you. You're doing a fantastic job. You're off to a great start right from the jump, and you guys are doing great. So I appreciate you guys crushing it and dominating it on your own terms. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I guess my deep words would be you are more important than a rock. So we can
Oh,
write that on the rock. I don't know. You're more important than a rock. Stand in line, do your part. Then Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. It's just Carrie at home. And I got a picture of me with a bunch of jeans in the background smiling. So that's where you can find me.
I appreciate you jumping on, Carrie. Love talking to you. We'll talk again. Keep crushing it. Keep that core business alive. All ships must rise. We can't have
Mhm.
one go down and one go up. Otherwise, we're in the
Yeah.
same spot. So all ships must rise. So thank you very much, Carrie. I appreciate you hanging out with us today. As always, be great. Thank you.